Good morning. What day is it? It's Thursday, baby. This is Marquise Martin Hayes, and we are here for Thriving Thursdays. Friends, I gotta let you know up front, we are going to have some acoustic challenges today. I'm doing my best to make adjustments, so bear with me if you will. It happens to be not only construction, but it also happens to be landscaping day around here. So we got a lot of challenges, but we're gonna work through them anyway. And I am glad to be here. I'm glad because just like life, we got to figure out how to thrive no matter what comes our way. And so today I'm getting my challenge with the show and I get to share it with you. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce really quick. Every week, as I like to do, I like to share a little bit about Rodan and Fields, a company that I represent and that I'm an independent consultant for. If you'd like to know more, or maybe you'd like to start your own business, we can chat after the show. But if you
So here are my natural lashes. And all you do is start from the inside, make your way up. So there you have it. My before.
All right. So thank you for sitting tight with me. Welcome back to the show. Rodan and Fields, I'm Marquise Martin Hayes, and you are now live on Thriving Thursdays. I've got my guest in the room, RichardThomas, the one and only.
Yes,
How you feel, brother?
Sir. What's happening, baby? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. Listen, guys, this guy is a brother to me, like literally. We literally would shave our hair at the same time, and we knew that when that happened, there was a new level of focus kicking in. We go way, way, way back. Washington State, Chicago, and we are still connected. So it is a true privilege to have someone of his caliber on the show. All I'm gonna do, like I always do, is get out the way and let it flow. Richard, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to follow what you've been doing, and I'm excited about being on the broadcast before it's nationally syndicated and you get paid them big dollars. I'm borrowing. If I need something, let me hold a little bit. Baby.
Yeah, right. Look, hold on. Hold on. Speaking of which, guys, if you guys like this show and you've been tuning in, so I'm super grateful for that. Be sure to not only like it on Facebook, but like it on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, Marquise Martin Hayes. You can search for it. You'll find me. And you can follow along where the replays will be there, as well as IGTV. We're on there as well under The Marquise. So if you have any questions, let us know. We do have intentions of expanding the show nationally and to syndicate it internationally, as Richard has just alluded to. All right, enough of all that good stuff. Man, what is going on in your world, brother?
Just don't forget me, baby, when you get to the globe.
I won't forget, man. I promise I won't forget. It's not my style. It's not my style. Listen, man. All right, so help the people out, right? So I already put up NFL, University of Washington, Lionheart Institute, and we'll save Lionheart a little bit down the road in the conversation, but clue the people in real good. I like to get the sizzle in so they can sit down and be still and let the information flow. So tell us a little bit about UW and NFL and how that happened in your life and who you are. All right, so tell us, it's all good. Tell us a little bit about the NFL and UW. Give people the history of what has people call you around the country to speak to students and people and families.
So I don't know if it was, I don't know. My mom's never really been clear with me. She's been a little muddled on the whole process as far as what happened, but somehow my legs got a little bit deformed in the womb. And as a result of that, doctors had to re-break them, set them, and I wore these run rear. As all the way through kindergarten, I had to wear these metal braces.
Okay.
And so from the word go, doctors told my parents that, hey, this kid will never run. He'll never be normal. He'll never probably even be able to walk normally. And so the end result of the story, obviously, making it to the NFL.
But wait. Before you get there, now, did you just describe what in my mind looks like FORREST GUMP? Was it like that?
Yes.
Dude, I never knew that.
Metal braces, clink, 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 baby. When I was on the playground, it sounded like this. Click, 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 click.
Okay, and so before we even get to the NFL, when did the transition come? Like where you were able to have full mobility and that journey began?
really, I had to wear these braces solid all the way up to kindergarten, off and on all the way to the 3rd grade. So by the time I get to the 3rd grade, I'm living in the inner city of Los Angeles. I'm teased every single day. It's a drug and alcohol and a gang infested area. And so I'm fighting almost every day, getting on my way home. Wow. And so I'm trying to find a constructive way to live my life rather than go the conventional route of, just participating in gangs and falling into that rut. And so I used to play basketball with grown men till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And this is in 5th and 6th grade. Then I transitionally moved from California to Washington. And when I get to Washington, meets me at the front door of the junior high school and says, "Hey, are you here for football practice?" And that was it, man. From there, life changed.
Wow. That's crazy, man. I had no clue. Yeah, and then tell us a little bit about, for those who don't know, that formation of high school and how you became this like standout running back in University of Washington. Just clue us in.
So what I think is funny about the whole journey is when I got to high school, they projected me as a potential decent running back because I'd had a little bit of success not playing the game, before that in 7th, 8th grade. And then I get to high school and I'm 3rd or 4th on the depth chart.
Okay.
There's a party at my school and very gifted football program, very gifted coach, phenomenal players ahead of me. So, I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to end up at Kentwood. I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to have a good time. And before I knew it, somebody else's adversity, somebody else's ceiling became my floor. And these cats went to a party, got caught at that party, and there was drugs and alcohol and so forth involved. And so police got involved. And unfortunately for those kids, they ended up getting kicked off the football team. And as a result of what happened in their life, now I'm in a position where they have no choice but to start me. And so I start playing as a sophomore, going both ways. There ain't nobody to take my spot. So
no way.
I get a ball, baby.
Like so like literally someone else's misfortune showed because you were just in position.
Right.
Offered you the opportunity to play both ways, which I guess sped up your learning curve, right? Because you didn't play 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Absolutely. So when you get thrown into the fire like that, it's either rise or fall. And I always tell people, for me, because of my background growing up in the inner city and because of the adversity I had to face, one thing that I hated to do was to lose. So for me, it wasn't so much that I had this grandiose vision about achieving, being successful. It was that I hated to lose so bad that desire not to fail became this driving engine that made me successful on the field. And then, of course, my first game as a sophomore, there's no backup. I mean, there's absolutely nobody behind me that can take my spot. So I'm having a great game, man. It's crazy. It's all the Friday Night Lights for me. I touched the ball, I think, 9 times in the first 3 quarters, and I think I fumbled 6 times.
Okay.
Now it's me making funky moves, doing sweat moves, trying to do Reggie Bush stuff, with the ball behind my back and so forth that way. But the coach came to me and said, "Hey, man, if I had somebody else, I would pull you out of the game." And when he said that to me, I realized, hold up, there's nobody to take my spot. I can ball out. And so just because of that, I went from fear motivation to love motivation. Now I could go from being stressed out and all this pressure to really, really, really realizing that fail or succeed, I'm the one in control of what I do. And so it really empowered me because that turned into love for the game rather than this stress of fear to perform. And I think for real, man, I think that we get lost in this need to perform in this world, and it really keeps us from thriving. It really keeps us from flourishing because we're living out of this desire to win or not to lose, rather than really being fulfilled. And this is the thing I know, man. I don't mean to be rambling without getting.
No, this is exactly what we want.
But the emptiness of life is really in this: having victory or having failure, whatever is over there, right?
Yeah.
But having no fulfillment in your life. That's ultimate loss to me. To be victorious in an endeavor, but not in your core to be at peace, means ultimately you're empty. And so for me, I've really transitioned in my life. The older I get, the grayer my hairs get. I realize I gotta find stuff I love, things I'm passionate about.
Yes.
Because I could fill my bank account. I commend all of us to do that. People, especially people of Black and brown descent, let's fill our bank accounts. Let's become powerful in our economic ability in this earth, right? But if we're not, if we don't have that power on the inside where we feel at peace and we feel contentment and we feel, hey, with or without success, I'm still enough, I'm still valuable, then ultimately our life is empty anyway. And so, you know, turning our attention to our homes, to our children, to our spouses, and really making sure that we're in a place of deep fulfillment is where true victory comes from. Because they say, you know, success is following a worthwhile endeavor that you've decided is important. Well, I think it goes beyond that. It goes to a place where success is about being fulfilled and then leaving a legacy. So
that's good teaching, man.
How we jump from the NFL to that, baby?
Because hey, listen, that's what this show is all about, man. I've got all the elements messing with me today over here, but that's what the show is all about. It's really about how do we connect the dots so people can succeed in their life, right? Every time we start this show, one of the things I try to focus on is I really want people to leave without an excuse, right? Like, I didn't know you lived the Forrest Gump lifestyle growing up, because what all I remember is that being downstate or just south of you over in Lakewood was there's this cat over in Kenwood tearing up the state. We're like, who's he?
Right.
Who's he? Right. Not knowing your background came as a result of nothing but pain, then moved into showmanship, which didn't work, and allowed you to relax into who you were. Like, well, that mentality is huge. Go ahead.
I think the powerful thing that people realize is a lot of times our pain can become our platform. As they say, our mess can become our message, right? And so for me as a young person, the one thing that I fell in love with, and I realized real quick, especially when it came to football, is that the way you keep score is scoring touchdowns. And so I fell in love with that accomplishment. And so it drove the way that I saw the game. And so, you know, even as a young person, I think that I started to understand habits and rituals and routines are so important.
Yes.
So I developed kind of a mindset, even as a running back, when nobody really taught me for it. But I started developing these little rules that I would live by. Never one. What did I mean by that? As a running back, I'd never let one person tackle me. That just wasn't going to happen. If you thought one person was going to get me on the ground, it's competitor against competitor. You're wrong. I will outwork you. I will outprepare you. I will outdo everything I have to do so that if we're one-on-one, you're never going to be in a position where you defeat me. And I think that carries over into life, where what we have to realize is that every single day we get up, whatever profession we're in, whatever career we're in a form of competition. And what we have to learn how to do as a people to be successful is to outcompete, is to outwork. And so I kind of got this mindset of, hey, I know that there's a cat down south in Tacoma. He's working right now, so I got to outwork him. It might be Monday morning, and I know we got practice that night. So I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run 3 miles before I even get dressed to go to school, because I know there's a high probability that cat's not going to do it. And when we get ready, and it's one-on-one, I'm going to win that battle because I put those 3 miles in when I know he didn't put those 3 miles in. And the crazy thing about that, right, is that the 3 miles will make a difference. But that 3 miles plus 6 miles plus 9 miles plus 12 miles, now all of a sudden I go from a little bit ahead of you to the end of the season or the end of the year, when it's now gone from being 70, 80 degrees at kickoff time to now it's 25 degrees at kickoff time, pouring down rain. I got 100 miles ahead of you. So there's no way that you can compete and tackle me one-on-one. So then I went from one-on-one to what's the most important thing in my life? First downs, right? So now
hold on, because you just said something so rich. I can't pass it up. Like, Richard, how did you go from, like, never one, right? So never one, I got it. You explained it thoroughly. but the mentality from someone who had freaking metal around his legs. How did you not allow the past of brokenness, of leg straights, of metal? How did you didn't mention that once as you got to number one and you talked through about number one. How in the world did you how did you focus like that? And that, like, it sounded like it never was an issue. You never thought about it again.
Well, I had the good fortune of having some good mentors in my life. I will say that. My parents were phenomenal. And then I had some coaches come into my life, some people at Parks and Rec. Where I played basketball at Gardena, there was a firing range right next to the basketball court. Police would come, and that's where they would test every day. And so, I think I remember real clearly one day, an officer walking out after he probably dropped 100 rounds in the firing range and looking at me and saying something to the effect of, "Son, you're not limited to where you're from. You just got to make a decision and aim your life." And then as a young boy, it's 6th grade, I remember I'm at Dinker Elementary, which if you're from California, you know Dinker. And I'm at Dinker Elementary, and we're lined up on the playground. And all of a sudden, one of my heroes walks up onto the balcony right next to my classroom, because that's where my classroom happened to be. Yeah. And one of my heroes walks out, Byron Scott. And he tells the whole world his story. And he starts pouring out. And I'm looking around, and all these cats, I mean, I got kicked out of more schools than I attended. Listen to me. I got kicked out of 7 schools in California school district until they said to me, "You can't come back. You know how bad you are to get kicked out of the LA school district? You a bad child." So I'm looking around on this playground, and people are watching. Some people are talking. But I just become engrossed by Byron Scott telling people that you can set a goal and achieve that goal if you work hard and believe in yourself. And so I'm watching him, and I said, that's what I want to do someday. I want to become a professional athlete, and then I want to become a motivational speaker. And so for me, all of a sudden, my mind went from being caged to being liberated, to being free. And that's kind of, I don't mean to jump into it too much, but that's kind of how we came to the Lionheart Institute kind of mindset process, is that you see lions in the wild, and they're a different beast, man. They run the jungle. But if you walk up into a zoo and you see a lion, yes, you see some of those tendencies. Yes, you see some of that ability. Yes, you see them walking the yard, but it's almost in a rhythm. It's almost in a predetermined pattern. And they'll get to a place and they'll roar every single time. It's because instinctually they know something is inside of them, but they're there just picking up free steaks, right? And so they don't know the driving passion of being turned loose. So for me, when I got out that cage, man, and I realized that I could be free to do whatever I decided I was going to do. Yes, there were going to be obstacles. Yes, there was going to be systemic racism. Yes, there were going to be challenges that I faced in the educational system because I didn't have a great educational background and so forth. But once my mind said, man, you can be free from this cage, you think I was ever going to go back? You out your mind, bro. I was never going to go back. So for me, as soon as my mind got liberated to the possibility, it was like the scent of water. I was drawn to it. I had to drink more of it. And so that's kind of how I got to that place. I couldn't go back to bondage. I couldn't go back. I was like the hurricane in the cell. Come on in here if you want to. You're going to leave toothless.
All right. So now we understand never one. The second one, you were going into it, but I had to understand that because that's so many people, man, are still looking for free steaks.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
The reason why we look for free steaks, though, let's not blame people for looking for free steaks. I get it; they're delicious, man. When you get a free steak,
I got it.
Delicious.
It
tastes good. It's like if you never eat, right? And somebody brings you a steak, it could be at Denny's for all I care, bro. You take that steak, and you're like, man, I can hang out here. Yeah, I was born for this. But then if you mess around and go, I know you know this restaurant. It's called the Met in Seattle. You mess around and get that kind of meat. the Metropolitan, a high quality steakhouse. You realize I got to get to that next level, right?
Understood.
And so for me, that's how I got to that place of number one, preparing. I knew that to succeed, I had to prepare. I had to get ready, man. I had to get ready in such a ritualistic way that if I saw you competing, I got to go hard. Right? If you came and you were at a basketball court and I knew I was going to face you a month from now or next year, or you were a junior and I was a sophomore, and I got to see you 2 more times before you leave. I know every time I see you, if you do 15 minutes of work, I'm gonna do 45 minutes of work. Dude, if you do 30 minutes of work, I'm gonna do an hour and a half worth of work. When we show up at the gym, if you start doing your thing, I'm gonna be doing my thing until you get dressed, get showered, and get up out my gym. Because I got to prepare. I gotta get ready to a level that intimidates you. See, I gotta get so ready to where when you see me, you're thinking all year about, did that cat really do what I saw him do? I gotta get into your head that way. So that's why very rarely did I think I was a junior in college before I ever lost a yard. Because
wait, hold on. You gotta explain that to people because people don't understand the significance of what you just said. What does it mean before you lost a yard?
Meaning line of scrimmage, me on this side, linebacker on this side, I always finished on this side. That was my mindset. I'm always going to finish on this side. Why? Because I'm prepared. All right. Now we're off point number 1. Let's get to point number 2.
Yes, sir.
Which was this. The number one goal to succeed in football, at least predominantly when I played, the game has changed just a little bit now, but then was first downs. If I can advance the chains more consistently than the other team, meaning time of possession, the highest probability is I was going to win that game, right?
That's accurate.
The score may be 7-3, but if I possess the ball in those days more than the other team, then I'm going to win. Now, offensive has changed just a little bit now, so you can be much more wide open and you can attack vertically and horizontally and those things. But I'm talking to you if you're a dentist, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're an entrepreneur. The important thing is not necessarily the sport or the endeavor. The important thing is understand, how do I win in this game? How do I win in this endeavor? So by figuring out what it was it took to win, which in our day was first downs, then rule number 2 for me became always move the chains. So if I've got to dive, if I'm at 7 yards and a first down is at 10 yards, I've got to dive to get that first down because that's how I win the game. So if you're in sales and it's 6 o'clock at night and you haven't gotten a sale all day and you're there to sell at 6 o'clock at night, you've got to move the chain. You've got to find a way to set yourself up for success the next day, or you've got to find a way to find the determination to say, hey, I got to get out of balance to get into balance, and I'm going to do whatever it takes in the next 15 minutes, or I'm going to stay an extra hour to get that sale. I'm going to move the chains. And so for me, that became rule number 2, is I studied in depth what it was to be successful at my endeavor. And so if you ever want to achieve anything in life, you've got to figure out, what are the rules of this game? And so I mentor young cats all the time. I mentor young cats that want to go from being kitty cats to becoming lions. They want to move on in their life. They want to do something great with their life. And what I got to tell them and I got to teach them is, you're going to have so many obstacles in your life that if you don't understand the rules to the game, you're never going to be able to fully thrive, because you're always going to be surprised. You're going to be diving for a first down that you think is at 7 yards, but it's at 10 yards, baby. You were so close. All it took was a spin. All it took was a straight arm. All it took was a dive, and you would have gotten the first down. We say that's extraordinary, right? But extraordinary is nothing but a little extra on your ordinary. It's just that extra little bit. You like that?
Oh, I like that. A little extra on your ordinary. Huh?
So all it is, though, it's figuring out the game, right? to us, everybody's talking about right now, and I don't want to get hyper political on your show. I'll save that for mine. So come on over, y'all. I'll talk to you about
we'll come on over.
World we live in. I'm just messing with you. But we're talking about Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
Republicans got their heads, they putting it in the sand like ostriches and just saying racism doesn't exist. It never has existed, never was existed. And when it did exist, it wasn't my fault. Okay.
Yeah.
We got the Democrats saying it's all their fault. They did it, he did it, she did it, but we didn't do it. Right?
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's Killer Mike, right? In my world, it's Killer Mike. Which master is greater? We're fighting over who's running the best plantation, right? What we got to do is we got to realize, yes, we can change the yard market. Yes, we can make changes in civil rights. Yes, we can tear down statues. I think all those things are important. That's me. That's my conviction. Yeah. I believe that we need to attack those things that attack us, okay? I believe that. And I don't think that we succeed by being oblivious to the challenges that are directly attacking us, okay? But
I would agree with you.
If we don't understand the rules to the game, if we don't understand systemic racism is real, if we just put our head in the sand and pretend it's not ever going to affect me, now we're driving down the street not knowing we're a target. And so we're just having fun, but we don't turn down the radio. Now, I know we shouldn't have to. I know I shouldn't have to train my kids how to respond to doing a California stop when a police officer pulls them over, understanding that there's
what's a California stop?
That, you know what that California stop is. Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. Oh, there was somebody. But pump them brakes and keep it pushing.
Right.
But if I don't teach them the rules of the game, then what's going to happen is they're going to become a victim of the game. They're going to become victimized by the game. They're going to become trapped in the system, not knowing that if they would have just known the rules of engagement, they would have came out of it more likely than not. Not that it always happens, because sometimes we can be sleeping in the bed and bad things happen. But but if you know the rules of the game, then you know how to live to succeed another day. So for me, rule number one was I was always going to out-prepare you. Never one-on-one. You ain't never going to get me one-on-one. You better call your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle. You better call a linebacker, a safety. You better get a corner over here. You better get somebody faster than me, stronger than me, and have a little bit more ugly than me. And it's hard to find somebody uglier than me. So you wasn't never going to get me one-on-one. It just wasn't going to happen. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
But rule number two was I had to know the rules of the game. So why is math so important? Why is science so important? Why is reading so important? Because I got to know the rules to the game. Yeah. Why is it that I have to know how to speak a business language if I want to be an entrepreneur? Because I got to know the rules to the game. How do I know? How do I have to know how to dress if I go in to get a loan? Because I got to know the rules to the game.
Correct.
Right? And so by knowing the rules, I know that I have to get first downs. I got to advance the ball in order to win. I was always moving forward, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The rule number three was the one I loved the most.
Okay.
Was always score touchdowns.
Okay.
Make it glamorous, make it beautiful, score points.
Okay. Okay.
Act like you've been there before. Shock people. Because you just did everything you had to do. Dislocated your ankle, dislocated your shoulder, dislocated their ankle, dislocated their shoulder. I mean, you made it look like poetry in destructive motion. Okay. You got to the end zone, then you acted like, ain't no thing. Let me hand you the ball, ref. Let me go ahead and slap my team on. You know, this is where we live. This is how we do it. So in the church, we got a saying, right? Never let the devil see you sweat.
Got it.
You got to pretend that this is natural. This is what we're used to. And by doing that, by always scoring points, I think that one of the tragedies of life, and I'm gonna tell you a secret deep down in my mind. Every time I see the Mega Million get over $100 million, I can buy me a ticket.
I don't blame you. Somebody gonna win.
I know we're supposed to play dice in our own neighborhood, but listen to me. Every time I see it, Go $100 million. Listen, I start spending that money before I even buy a ticket. I start looking on YouTube at the houses in Florida. Oh, and I start thinking about walking around that thing butt naked, man.
Create a vision for it. Yes.
I start visualizing what that Bentley's gonna feel like in my hands.
Yes.
I'm too old to care if people think I look good, but I know my car look good. So I get to that place where I start visualizing. Think about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes, man, I think that we fail because all we have is that $100 million goal. All we have is that championship. Man, listen to me. I got into my wife got sick about a decade ago. Okay, she got ill, and tragedy hit us.
Yep.
God's been good to us, restored us, brought a beautiful woman in my life. Okay, so I'm not calling. There is a lot of reasons to cry about that tragedy. That's not what I'm doing. Okay,
understood.
But when that happened in my life, I got into trouble. Okay, man, it was tough because I was at her bedside 6 months. I would get there at I would leave the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning, go home, sleep for 3 hours, get up at 6 o'clock, take a shower, go back and be there, right? Because you didn't know. So it was crucial time, right? So I'm burning the candles at both ends, man. I'm not working enough to pay my bills, and I'm not quite getting over on top hustling enough to get that money out of it, right? So I get into some trouble. So I go to a dear friend of mine, and I say, hey, listen, man, I got to get some money. I put my family in a bad situation because of tragedy. So he says, listen, the rings aren't important to me, but you staying focused on doing the right thing is important to me. So he gave me some money to get through. Sure. In doing that, now he's since given me my rings back, but I gave him my rings as collateral. That's called the cost of living life, friend. Sometimes you're going to have to invest some things that are dear to your heart to get through it, to get to the next level. You're going to have to pay that price. I worked so hard for those rings. A national championship ring, 3 Pac-10 titles, became the team captain, from going from a place where I had broken legs, where doctors said I'd never walk, to I'd never be normal, to being teased in elementary school, till I got in fights, till I got kicked out of all these schools, to where now I'm at a football program and I had to work harder than anybody because I wasn't really that gifted, because I was behind on the curve, but I kept on working hard. And now I've won a national, listen to me, a national championship. I wore that ring more than I wore my wedding ring, man. I wore that ring everywhere. I would take a shower, I would take it off my finger, put it around my neck, man. This ring was my identity. It said, Richard, you are very few people achieve this. You are a national champion.
Yep.
I worked so hard. I remember handing them that ring. Man, all those touchdowns I worked to score. All the times I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning so they wouldn't kick me out of school, and all that homework I did. Yeah. All that studying I did, then got turned around, ran my extra work, went to practice, worked my guts off, went to rehab, all that work that went into getting that national ring. And I remember handing him that ring and watching him put it into his, he didn't put it into my safe. He put it into his safe. Right. He took to me what was my whole life, bro. Yeah. For a measly paycheck, and locked it in his safe. I felt like he locked my whole identity in that safe, man. I felt like everything I'd ever worked for didn't matter. Yeah. The prize was gone. He took all my dreams in one moment. It was like an Esau moment. I felt like if you were a Bible thumper, I felt like I had just sold my freaking life for a bowl of porridge. Wow. He took my ring and put it in the safe and clicked it. And man, my heart broke. I took that check, and I dang near didn't go to the bank. I did go to the bank. Yeah. The bank coming after me. Yeah. But I dang near didn't, man. I dang near ripped the check up. That's how I felt. Yeah.
Understood.
That's how I felt. Life got better. I started remembering, wait a minute. I ain't no lion in the zoo. I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
I started remembering, wait a minute. All that work I put in, if I did it before, I can do it again.
Yep.
All I got to do is flip back and remember and flip forward and apply it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing what it took to be me again.
It's good.
To start thriving again.
Mm-hmm.
To start believing in myself again. And as I started believing in myself, other people started believing in me too.
Yeah.
My success started to grow again. But instead of success that was just based on whether I won or I lost, my success was I fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
How did I feel on the inside? Was joy, peace, love activated in my heart?
Mm-hmm.
Was I content? Mm-hmm. Was I thriving? You understand what I'm saying? Right?
I understand, bro.
And so I knew that nobody was going to outwork me. So I'm working. I knew the rules of the game. So it made it so that I could succeed a little bit quicker. Because yes, these gray hairs said in all your principal things, get wisdom, get some understanding, get some knowledge. If you get those things, you can apply those things. And if you apply those things, I bet you go from taking the stairs to taking the escalators. I bet you if you take the escalator, you go to taking an elevator. I bet you figure out how to get you a rocket ship and go from point A to point Z a lot quicker, right?
Yep.
And they say that. They say that if you've ever been a millionaire, it's easy to become a millionaire again.
I'm working on that one.
Right?
But yeah.
But he locked my identity up. The funny thing is I look for my rings today because he long since has given them back to me. I couldn't even find them, man. I thought it would be nice. We put my ring on. Me show you, set a national touchdown record, set a state touchdown record. Look at what I achieved. But my rings no longer are what set my identity.
Got it.
See, our trophies can never set our identity, Keith. I
agree.
They can't. Because they can never really measure the quality of a man or a woman's heart. They can never really truly measure the depth of our ability, our talent, our skill, our God-given capacity. Mm-hmm. They're just trinkets. What really measures it is how much love is flowing through our life.
It's good.
How much are we thriving?
Yeah.
How much are we getting the touchdown? And so I said all that about the $100 million. Mm-hmm. Because really, it's not the $100 million goal that matters. What matters is how do you treat your small goals every single day?
It's good.
Are they valuable to you? Do they matter to you? Are they precious to you? When you achieve that, what some people would call that small goal. Mm-hmm. For you, I know you've run these marathons that make me terrified. Bro, I'm sure every step you took, you probably were terrified for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not just about running that long marathon. It's about how about I break this marathon down? How about I figure out how to take how do I celebrate the next step? Mm-hmm. How do I celebrate that in a way that makes me feel triumphant? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to be honest with you. So I don't know how much time we got left. I'm going to finish with my fourth rule.
We got 15. We got 15 minutes, and you got to tell us about Lionheart because I want everybody to follow you. You've been amazing.
Okay. I would love it. Fourth rule is this. Make them pay. So if I can't, if they did give me one-on-one, which was very rare, if I didn't get the first down, which I always worked hard for, if I didn't reach my small goal, I hit cats in the mouth. Yeah. Everybody's making business decisions, and I get it. The NFL contracts it, and this isn't about the NFL, man.
I know this. You unleashing wisdom.
There's guys that make business decisions on plays. They short arm the football because they don't want to stretch it out because they don't want to get hit in their rib cage. Okay? There's cats that dance and then step out of bounds. To me, I would rather make you remember my name. I would rather drop my forearm into your throat, so the next time you took a swallow, you remembered Richard Thomas was in the neighborhood.
It's good.
So what do I mean by that? Obviously, my response is a football response, a masculine response, a macho response, right? But that's not what it is. It's if you're a hairdresser, cut that hair to a level that makes them remember your name. You can do that at a level that's not just cutting the hair, but answering a question in their life. One of the most valuable people in the world for a long time was a bartender. Why? Because for your $3.50, you got to take a shot and you got a counseling session at the same time.
Yeah, you did. It's real.
So whatever your thing is, whether you're a life coach, whether you're a therapist, whether you're, man, this is going to be one of the greatest shows in the history of the world, probably.
Agreed, bro.
Because you're always, this is what I'm talking about. Now, I know it sounds like I'm taking value away because I always made them pay. But what it really is always adding value. They always remember. Richard was in the neighborhood. You came for A, but I gave you A, B, and C.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So if we really want to rise in whatever field we're in, give that extra value. Give that, man, I had no right to expect this.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate it. Yes, thank you. But if you show up to pray the house on fire.
Yeah.
If they called you to bring the chicken and some chicken nuggets.
I like it. I get it.
If they ask you to bring the ice cream, the nuts, and the topping.
Yeah. I get it.
So often, we got this thing, and I do it all the time, especially when I go to my pop's house. If he throws a barbecue, I tell my girl, hey, listen, right up there in the cupboard, I got metal tins. I want you to grab my metal pans, and I want you to put them in the car. She said, for what? See, she don't understand. She got Cajun. She don't understand these things.
Yeah.
I said, bring my pots and bring my pans with you. She said, what you mean? We ain't got nothing to bring in them. I said, I don't care about bringing nothing with me. I want to bring some barbecue home with me.
That's good. That's good.
But see, that's the opposite of what we got to do as a people. That's the opposite you and I got to do as entrepreneurs.
Right.
When we show up, even though we're coming to the barbecue, you can believe I'm bringing the Hennessy.
It's good.
Now,
it's good.
I'm not saying Hennessy. I'm not saying bring the poison. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying,
I get it.
Bring that.
I get it.
Bring that heater to the cold place. Bring that air conditioner to the hot place. Because if you, and they're real simple rules, never one, outcompete, outwork, because effort is between you and you. When you prepare to be great. Number two, understand the rules of where you're at. Understand the hierarchy of where you're at. Understand what the process of advancement is. Understand how you're going to get better, how you can get to the next level. Understand that these things that people come up with, that leaders are readers. But wait a minute. They've put thousands of hours into studying what it takes to be successful. Let me take that elevator. Let me ride that rainbow and understand that putting those principles into place is going to make me successful. Number three, celebrate the goal. Celebrate the process. Don't just fall in love with making a big deal out of scoring a touchdown. Yes, I handed my fair share of footballs to cheerleaders too. Spiked my fair share of footballs too. Made it seem like this was the greatest thing of all time. And sometimes you have to do that. But make your successes significant enough to remember, but not to act like you've never been there before. And number four, for me at least, is bring that extra value. Bring that extra little bit to where people see you and they say, man, that Marquise, he's special.
It's good.
He does something that very few people have ever made me feel. He's made me feel like I can succeed. Man, that cat can encourage me. I don't know what it is about being around him, but he just makes me feel good. He just makes me believe. I think I'm gonna do a little something now
Yeah.
because you're thriving. So
Yep.
now you're not concerned about holding other people back because you're thriving.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of times haters, the reason they hate because they're so stuck that they can't stand to see other people succeed. But when
That's
you're
accurate.
thriving, like you're thriving, you're pushing other people.
That's right.
First thing you talked about when you said you had a show on, I said I was so excited for you. You started talking about me doing something.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm
Absolutely.
gonna grab me a video camera and I'm gonna see what I can do. You started saying, well, here's
Absolutely.
how you do it, and this is what you need to do, and this is step one, and this is step two. Don't get caught up in all the details. Just do it.
Yep.
That's the way you think. That's the way you thrive. That's the way you make other people thrive. You always pushing people forward.
Got to. Dude,
That's
it
what I'm proud of you,
has
man.
been incredible, man. Dude, man, it's all love, bro. It's all love. I was telling him, we broke up a little earlier. Remember when we would be at the church and one of us come in bald and it's like, oh, it's game time, ain't it? We just knew. We just knew. Like,
I remember when
he's
you
on
would
the
come
next
in
level.
bald, I'd be like, ooh, did I miss the thermostat change?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
All the things just, right? It was that little indicator that there's a shift. Yeah. Listen, man, before we run out of time, it is imperative that people know how to follow you, that they hear at least a little bit about Lionheart, the Lionheart Institute, so they can contribute, so they can call you and have you out, so they can send their kids, so they can send their men, their women, and anybody related that needs the gift and the offering that Lionheart has available. So please take at least 5 minutes to share about that.
Well, I appreciate that. The Lionheart Institute is all about helping people overcome obstacles, both externally and internally, right? We don't ignore those external, but we don't become a victim of those externals as well. Not to say that becoming a victim isn't real. We teach you how to deal with that too and progress to the next level. But we talk about really what is the greatest enemy of all, and that's the enemy. That's that thing that's that stumbling block internally, which is oftentimes paradigms, belief systems, mindset. And so we talk about overcoming those things, right? What are the paramount things that are going to keep you stuck instead of advancing forward? Then what we do is we begin to really get into a place of helping people thrive in their full potential. For me as an athlete, especially as an athlete, my whole mindset used to be about performance. How do I get my performance to the next level? How do I do better? How do I go from being the backup starting running back to the starting running back? And so as we started, how do I catch so many balls in percentage wise in contrast to what I used to? And yeah, we still talk about that as a measuring point of performance, being a part of thriving. But really what we want to talk about is how do we get to a place of being fulfilled? And so a lot of that for us is talking about stoic kind of belief systems in the sense of being courageous, gaining wisdom, right? Having temperance in our life, developing that balance, and really getting to a place where we're not only seeking justice for ourselves, which means our highest level of capacity, but now we become a deeper contributor to society because we're seeking justice for all, because we know on a plane of fairness, right, we can all compete and enjoy life. So the Lionheart Institute is really all about coaching people to their next level of potential, coaching people to their next level of thrive, coaching people to the next stage in their evolution. I know a lot of people are caught up with evolution, but I want to evolve as a person. I want to get better as a person. I want to get to that next level. And so that's really what Lionheart Institute is all about. We should have our website up fully by the end of the month. That's our goal. We are taking clients now. We're talking in small groups. So, I used to do school assemblies. And so I travel and do 1,000 school assemblies probably over the last 3-4 years or so forth like that. And I used to do over 100 school assemblies a year. But now that whole demographic has changed. What motivational speaking used to be, that platform is being ripped from us when you got to have 6 feet of separation. How are we going to do a motivational seminar? How am I going to do a school assembly? So we're in the process of changing that, going to more of a live stream or going more to video presentations. So you'll find all of our stuff on social media, YouTube, and our website, podcasts, and those kind of things. But we're trying to change that medium just a little bit because we used to be able to go to schools. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that in the foreseeable future. And used to do corporate events or community events. but now it's being really limited to this online platform. And so I'm thankful for your mentorship in that area, because it's helping me kind of figure out how am I going to get this message out.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more, because I definitely have ideas to share with you on how to make that happen now, not even later. In fact, I was speaking to a school, so funny, Leo High School, talking about Lionheart. I was talking to Leo High School in the month of May. I came on, I spoke for an hour, and they did it all through Zoom. So they allowed the kids to get credit for waking up early. And believe me, they were waking up like this, watching.
They were
submitting questions and interacting. I got to see them. Yeah, and so it was complete interaction. They submitted questions and stuff. So we'll get a chance to talk about that in a minute, but there are ways to do it, and there are places making it happen.
It was very cool.
All right, hold on one second. Let me say goodbye to the people real quick here.
Much love. Thank you, audience.
Man, absolutely. Listen, guys, Thriving Thursday, Richard Thomas, he grew up like Forrest Gump, literally, with metal around his legs, and won rushing and touchdown titles. Did you hear that? There's no reason why you can't figure out how to thrive. He left us with 4 principles that if you go back and listen, you write them down and figure out how they apply in your life, you can succeed as well. Listen, I can't wait till next week. I'm not even telling you who's coming. But listen, what you got today is all you need to succeed. You don't have to wait till next week. Just implement what you got now. Couple notes. We are going to be, or I'm going to be on Real Talk Real Women Live. Some of you may have heard about it. It's a show that's coming up, coming out July 5th. It's going to be a nice teaser. July 12th, we are live. Real Talk Real Women Live. I happen to be one of the men that serve them. When you hear the phrase, is there a doctor in the house? Be looking for me to come in and share any wisdom, mentally, nutritionally, and physically, that I can add value to you. Until next Thursday, it is my heart's desire that you continue to thrive. I'm Marquise Martin Hayes, your host. It's been my pleasure.